What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and Spec Ops 24 is finally here. I think we were all greatly anticipating this release, and even though it did take a very long time, by the look of it, it's not going to disappoint. The first thing that you're going to see, besides Beta Ray and a few of the villains, is the multi-function Staff of Storms. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about this item just yet, outside of that amazing PvP bonus. If I buy it though, there's no way that I'm going to socket it, so that doesn't really matter for me. The next thing that you'll see is when you first go into Spec Ops, the dialogue does begin to roll. Thor says father, Odin says son. Then Thor goes on, you know what's coming to Midgard, the mortals need our help. The mortals may be beyond our help. Uh-oh. What are you saying? That Asgard must see to Asgard's well-being. Even as the worthy overrun Midgard? Apparently even then. My energies are devoted to Asgard. My powers are devoted to Asgard. So too should yours be. Father, you must listen. Alright, so I guess that's why Thor's missing. He went off to help Earth. So who's going to step up and take his place? None other than Beta Ray Bill. But before we take a look at him, let's move on to the taskbar itself. First, the new Spec Ops item. This time it's the Asgardian Armband. So that's going to be our first research, and the armory bonus is 9,036 offense and 9,036 defense. That's not bad, but I believe it's the same as the locket and the sturdy glove. Still, if you need any more upgrades in your armory, this is going to be a perfect item. Next up we have the Smoldering Sword. This says Elemental Set, and it has Fiery Charge. So charges elemental capacitors and provides elemental power. That's apparently going to increase damage. Then it also has a chance to preemptively attack an enemy with chilled, frigid, or burning. That will go great with the weather control device, or anyone like Storm, Iceman, or Crystal. This weapon actually will cause burning itself, and it's going to give burning to your agent. Well, it could work with the Demon set, or we may end up taking a look at Sunfire once again. Then moving on to the next blueprint, this is for the Staff of Tepid Storms. It also says Elemental Set, and it has elemental power, so it increases damage and is a multi-function weapon. It looks like we'll have to find out more about that one later. Finally, we're going to get the blueprint for the Coulson Special. It says Elemental Set 1 of 4, and for each set piece it gains increasing chance to counter and follow up on attacks. Plus, this is where we find out what Elemental Capacitor does. It gains damage boost and additional effects when equipped with elementally charged gear. So Fiery Charge adds burning, Icy adds chilled, and Electric adds static shock and magnetized. Well, the set looks interesting and could provide for some very good elemental team-ups. But moving on to the most important reward, the character Beta Ray Bill. This hero is actually going to be a blaster and a bruiser at the same time, and he has 3 very nice passives. Corbinite Guardian says protects allies that are low on health from single target attacks. Also takes less damage from enemy attacks, and stamina is restored every round. Then Path of Might points out his dual class, so yes, he will gain the advantages and disadvantages of both. Then lastly, he has the Riders on the Storm. Provides amped up to all allies, increasing damage on attacks, and providing a chance to evade enemy attacks. Well, I like it. So far he seems very solid. But of course we're going to have to look at his abilities to really get a sense of him. So here he is in his classic costume. And now moving on to his actions, his level 1 is called Stormbreaker. What this ability does is causes crackle, so chance to trigger an electric shock after performing a hostile action. That will remove 1 stack of crackle when triggered, and it can be applied 3 times. It also gives Beta Ray covered, so taking 50% damage from all attacks. And if this is his follow-up and counter, I love it. If that's the case, he's going to gain covered pretty much the entire fight. Well, with the right setup. Then moving on to his level 2, it's Thunderstruck. You have been. A ranged electric attack that causes cornered, so removes and prevents protect effects, and it gives himself breakthrough. The next attack that hits is guaranteed to be a critical hit. So yeah, you've just been thunderstruck. I already planned to sing my version of that, but only with Thundra, so now we're probably going to have to team those two up. But anyways, moving on to I Say Thee Nay. Bada boom. It's an AoE ranged electric energy attack that is catastrophic, and it's going to cause static charge and ozone on all the enemies. Ozone says taking additional damage from electricity attacks and effects. So this is going to be great with a number of weapons, and of course Storm and Thor. But that's not even all, it also gives himself electric field. So shield effect absorbs incoming damage and deals electricity damage to melee attackers. I definitely give that level 6 a thumbs up. But now for his level 9, it's Ride the Lightning. This is cosmic. It has deadly crits, exploits flying, which I like, and shocking. Deals extra damage against targets with crackle, ozone, and static charge. So he should do a great job of setting up his own level 9. Not that he has that much outside help, but all in all I am pretty impressed, and I can't wait to unlock Beta Ray. However, there is another character, a brand new lockbox villain, and hers are the enchanting lockboxes. So of course you'll collect those from fighting the group boss, and then trying to get all 8 of her comic covers. Enchantress is going to be an infiltrator, and she has 2 passives. First, as Guardian, immune to burning, chilled, poison, and radiation. And secondly, Sowing Discord. She gains magic missile charge when an enemy attacks anyone on the enemy team. And she gains magic missile charge at the beginning of every turn. Well, with a passive like that, she's obviously going to be messing with the enemy team. Oh, and her first ability is Magic Missile. My missiles never miss. It has Ethereal Strike and Guaranteed Hit, so I guess she's right on that one. And it's going to cause Bane and Chaos Shot. That's quite a sick level 1. Chaos Shot is amazing, and the fact that it has Bane and is going to hit basically any target. Well, that's why it's so good. Then her level 2 Charm is a debuff magic attack that's a quick action and it's subtle, plus it's going to place Charmed and Mind Control on the enemy, so they're held in the grasp of Enchantress's magic. They have a chance to lose a turn, but it is removed when damage is taken. Then Mind Control of course causes them to have a 50% chance to protect enemies from allies' attacks. That should help out with her passive. Then moving on to her level 6 Alluring Voice. This is another magic debuff. Believe it or not, it's another quick action and it's subtle. This one causes Disoriented and Smitten to the enemy. So a 20% chance to cower and fail an attack. Counterattacks allies who are charmed. It's just like we expected, Enchantress is going to mess with the enemy's heads, and she has some very cool and different abilities. But her level 9 Emerald Wave is an AoE attack that has Ethereal Strike, Exploit Attrition, and Exploits Delirium. With those 2 exploits, I can imagine this doing quite a bit of damage to the entire enemy team. So once again, a very interesting character that I can't wait to unlock. But that's not even it to Spec Ops 24. Besides this, the group boss, and the tasks, we also have a Refactored Loki. So, looking at modern Loki, for his passive, he still retains Liesmith. This gives him a 20% chance to create illusions, avoiding attacks and then countering them, applying Bane. But for his abilities, you're going to see a number of upgrades. First of all, Throwing Dagger is now a multi-function attack. It has Ethereal Strike and Guaranteed Hit, and it causes Death Frost. Then checking out the multi-function aspect, it is taking a minute for the icons to load, but first he has Soulfire, and then he has a Dark Void version. So hey, now we have some options on that level 1. And with those, we're going to place a few more debuffs on the enemies. Now exiting out and looking at his level 2, the Fog of Chaos is a quick action that applies Mind Games and Cursed Mirror to the enemy. Mind Game says chance to cause damage and debuffs before performing the next action. And Cursed Mirror of course says the next 2 attacks heal the target instead of harming, but it can be removed with recharge. Alright, and then his level 6 Trickster Seal. It's a quick action, but it does start cooled down. Still, it's a ranged magic debuff that's subtle, and it places Trickster on all the enemies. It's definitely an awesome quick action because it says, many beneficial status effects are replaced with their opposite. Healing actions damage their targets instead, and it creates a negative effect according to the class of the target. Then his final ability, Hall of Mirrors, is also a quick action. It causes Disoriented, and it gives himself Runic Reflection. This increases the chance for Liesmith to occur, and it says Liesmith's counters gain exploit attrition. So all in all, this is another fantastic ability, and I'm very excited to use Loki once again. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw more of him in PvP. So speaking of that, I will make a video of the Refactored Loki very soon. But of course I have a lot of Spec Ops 24 work to do as well. As for this first look and overview, that's going to be the end of this one. But I would like to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck, and take care.